something called Manus. It's like this AI agent.
Yeah, it's causing a stir.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So basically, it's claiming to be way more than just another chatbot, right? It's actually an agent.
Yeah, bridging that gap between just like thinking about stuff and actually doing it, actually getting results.
So this is like, instead of Siri just telling me what the weather is like, this thing will actually go outside and bring me an umbrella.
Well, not quite like that, but close. Think of it more like this. A lot of AIs right now, they can generate ideas, right? Like maybe suggest blog topics or whatever.
Yeah.
But Manus is focused on action, actually completing tasks.
Okay, so can you give me a concrete example?
Absolutely. So the video gives this example. Imagine you're hiring for a new position. You know how tedious that whole process can be?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So Manus could screen resumes for you. You rank the candidates based on like whatever criteria you give it, and then even compile the results into a nice, neat spreadsheet, all without you lifting a finger.
Wow, that's a game changer. So that's way beyond the kind of chatbots that I'm used to.
Oh, absolutely. It's a whole different ballgame.
So what's the secret sauce here? How does it actually work?
So there are a couple of key things. First, it operates in the cloud.
Okay, so like all up in the internet ether.
Right. And that means it can run asynchronously, meaning it can be working in the background even when your computer is off.
It's like I could give it a task before I go to bed and wake up and it's done.
Exactly. Just like delegating to like a human assistant, except this assistant never sleeps and doesn't need coffee breaks.
Uh-huh. So that's already pretty impressive.
Yeah.
But you mentioned there was something else.
Right. The other key thing is that it's a multi-agent system. So think of it like a team of specialized AI experts.
Okay, so not just one AI doing everything.
No, it's more like you have one AI that's amazing at research, right? Another one that's great at coding and so on. And they're all working together to tackle these much more complex tasks.
That's fascinating. It's almost like a little AI society.
Right. And that's a big part of what makes Manus so powerful. And the video highlights some pretty cool capabilities.
Yeah. Like what?
Well, for one, it can do things like research New York City real estate. Like imagine being able to tell it, hey, I want a safe neighborhood with good schools, but I only have this much budget. And it actually finds you options.
Wow, that would have been useful like 5 years ago.
Uh-huh. Or it can perform like complex Stark analysis. It uses these things called APIs, which are basically ways for different software programs to talk to each other. So it can pull in real-time data and do all sorts of cool stuff.
And can you talk more about that website thing?
Oh, yeah. That was the part that really blew my mind. So it can take data and then visualize it in a meaningful way, like create graphs and charts, and then actually build a website around that data.
And then you can share with other people.
Exactly. It generates a shareable link.
That's insane. I'm more of a visual learner, so that's the kind of thing that really impresses me.
Yeah. And to me, what's really cool about that is that it shows how Manus uses coding not as an end in itself, but as a tool to solve problems.
You mean it's not just writing code for the sake of writing code?
Right. It sees that there's a need to present this data visually, and then it uses coding to build a website to do just that.
That's a level of problem solving that I don't think a lot of people would expect from AI.
Exactly.
And, the video mentioned that Manus is already getting really impressive results on these, like, benchmark tests.
Right. Those standardized tests for AI, they basically let you compare different AIs and see which one performs better on certain tasks.
So it's not just hype, it's, like, scientifically proven.
Yeah, exactly. The benchmarks help cut through the hype and show what an AI can really do. And what's even more impressive is that Manus has been tested not just in labs, in these controlled environments, but also out there in the real world.
Like how?
Well, they've used it on platforms like Upwork and Fiverr, those websites where you can hire freelancers.
Oh, yeah, so it's actually competing with humans.
Well, in a way, yeah. And it's also been tested in these Kaggle competitions, which are like the Olympics of data science.
Whoa. So this is serious stuff. This isn't just some theoretical project that's actually out there doing things.
Yeah, definitely.
And, speaking of doing things in the real world, what I found really interesting is that they're making Manus open source.
Yeah, that was a big announcement.
Can you explain what that means for folks who might not be familiar with that term?
Sure. So open source basically means that they're making the code for Manus available for anyone to use, study, modify, and build upon.
So it's like they're giving away their secret recipe.
In a way, yeah. And the idea is that this will lead to like a surge in innovation and collaboration in the AI field.
That's so cool. But it also makes me wonder about the potential downsides, right? Like, couldn't open sourcing such a powerful technology be kind of risky?
That's a valid concern. I mean, it's important to think about the potential impact, both the positive and the negative. But open source also allows for greater transparency and scrutiny.
You mean like more people will be able to look at the code and make sure it's not doing anything shady?
Exactly. So it can help mitigate some of those risks.
Okay, that makes sense. So, going back to the video, the name Manus really stuck with me.
Yeah, it's a cool name.
It's from Latin, right?
Yeah. Mens et manus. It means mind and hand.
And that seems like a really deliberate choice.
Oh, definitely. The creators are trying to make a point. It's like this idea that knowledge is only truly useful when it can be applied in the real world. Manus aims to be that hand, bridging that gap between thought and action.
Extending our capabilities.
Exactly. And I think that's really what's so exciting about this whole field. AI is moving beyond just what if to what is.
And if AI can research, analyze, and even build websites,
Right.
what does that mean for us? What does it mean for jobs, for creativity? What tasks would you delegate to an AI agent like Manus? It's a huge question, and I don't think anyone has all the answers yet. But what do you think? Let us know. This is just the beginning, and we're all part of shaping this future.
Absolutely. It's a conversation we all need to be having.
And on that note, I think we'll wrap things up for today. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. We'll catch you next time.
See you then.